up here. If you got a question, just go ahead and line up, and we're just going to go from there. So, really, nobody? Okay.
For this, yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, just do whoever's coordinating that or whatever, just do your best. Oh, look at all the people without the names.
The QA line is
hope you guys are happy because
back
I was
to the
literally
door.
right in the middle of watching season 3 of Avatar, and I'm at the invasion. I'm at the invasion as the B2B continue. I'm like, what's gonna happen? Oh shit! So I'm really hyped. What's gonna happen? Where's the Fire Lord? Oh, shut up. It's not Game of Thrones. Okay, so we obviously got a line going here, so yeah, just gonna start with the questions. Go for it.
I just want to say, I remember when I first started watching you, I saw in the related
I remember when I first started watching you.
I saw in the related video on Nostalgia Critic Drug special, and I was like, no, it couldn't be. They showed us that. Like every single week.
The All-Stars?
The All-Stars, yeah.
I heard a lot of kids had to watch that musical, and I'm so sorry for all those who did.
It was really terrible. And my question is, if the dumbest Superman moments came out, like, say, like last week or whatever, how many parts of Man of Steel would be
just be the whole movie. And I know a lot of people are split on if you like it, great. I hate it. When that comes to DVD, I'm going to rip it a new one, man. I'm going to Then my brother and I were watching, and we're like already putting the jokes together and stuff, so it's going to be really good. So thank you so much. Yes?
I just want you to finish this sentence. Pig power?
In the house!
Pig
How's it going? That's good. Quick question. What was the thought process of making the Nostalgia Critic an egotist?
Well, egotists and jerks are A, very funny, and B, a ton of fun to play. You know, villains are always the most fun to play. That's a famous phrase a lot of actors like to say. And there's a lot of truth to it, you know. There's so much conflict with a villain, and conflict is like the center of drama and comedy. So naturally, if you have somebody as an egotist, he's setting himself up to fail constantly, and that leads to a lot of great comedy. So, yeah, you know, there's been a bit of an evolution with the character. He's, you know, come a little bit more into his own, but he's still a jerk, you know, but at the same time, he's a little bit more open to hearing people, a little bit more
embraced
options. Yeah, there's more options on the table for him now. You know, he is evolving. I wouldn't have brought the character back if I felt, oh, this was it, this is the only thing I can do with him. But if it keeps growing and growing, I'm going to enjoy, keep doing it. Awesome.
Hello. Quick question. There was a very interesting report on NPR last week, and I wanted to get your opinion on it. They were talking about how the movie industry is changing, how there are more marketing movies that translate very well globally and that sells blockbuster films overseas, but the critics hate them. They don't do well in America, such as like...
This is new?
Ice Age 3 through, I think they're up to 6. And like, It's a Good Day to Die Hard. They're doing terrible over here, but overseas they're like selling millions. What is your opinion of how the movie industry is changing to this?
Well, obviously, we're smart and the rest of the world is dumb. No, I mean, I think they're still looking to have, you know, sort of America be the first target audience they want to hit. So I think bad movies are bombing, like the Die Hard and the White House Down and now Lone Ranger. You know, Richard Roper said this, you know, because people say, is star power dying? Is star power dead? Are people waking up that these stars can't carry? It's not the stars, it's the fact they're crappy movies. You know, and it just sort of comes down to that. If you can't advertise it well, I mean, we're getting to a point where even the ideas are just sounding lame. Who was demanding a Lone Ranger movie? And on top of that, I think with the social media constantly, oh, you were okay. No, but with the social media aspect, we're seeing more and more, like After Earth, I think had a good opening day, but then the Twitter effect started happening and everyone was saying how bad it was, and just boom, it bombed. So I think that's really what's having such a big effect. I think with the foreign market, why they're doing better there, I think a lot of the time they're a bit more forgiving because there is that barrier, there is that translation barrier. So you could always, if they don't get something, oh, well, that's our culture. Or if something is said weird, oh, well, we don't speak their language, so we don't know. It's like, no, it's all legitimately bad. You can hate it. So I don't know. That's my best logical answer.
All right, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Hi.
Hi.
I have 2 questions for you.
Go for it.
Okay. One is when you did the Animaniacs tribute, like how did that all work? Like did you use Skype? Like did you have to do each of them separately?
Yeah, it was a fan of mine knew a lot of people and said, hey, I can get them in contact with you. Yeah, sure, go ahead. And then sure enough, she got in contact with me. I'm like, oh, cool. And they were all interested in doing it. And we just had it, they set up their own cameras on themselves. I had them record themselves and then get me the files. And I did the interview over Skype. And then the actual part of me as the nostalgia critic interviewing them, I reshot it. So, all that. Now, granted, the reactions I have, I'm just recreating the reactions I had before when I was interviewing them. But if I did it live right there as the nostalgia critic, you would hear feedback from me asking the questions on their speakers and stuff, and it would just sound really bad. So that's why I did that.
Okay. And my second question is, since you've restarted the Nostalgia Critic, which of those new movies that you've reviewed has been the worst?
The worst? You gotta be Master of Disguise. That's pretty good. With a close second with Cat in the Hat. Okay, Cat in the Hat I actually think is my new favorite review. I love that one. I love anything I can promote saying, hey, Dr. Seuss wasn't just kid stuff. Like, he really got it right. Let's really look at what he got right and those simple words they chose and why they were so effective. So I really enjoyed that one. So, awesome.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Hi, what's your favorite movies? What are your favorite movies?
My favorite movies, I did a top 20 list actually of my favorite movies. I went into great detail about all of them. My absolute favorite movie is a movie a lot of people haven't seen, but it's a pretty big budget. It's called Brazil. And it's
what is that about?
It's sort of like, if you know the book 1984, it's kind of like a comedic version of that, but it's still a very dark comedy, and it's still very uncomfortable but very over the top too, and it's just, it's a lot of fun, also very disturbing. And I love that mix for some reason.
Oh, do you like horror movies?
Do I like horror movies? I like the ones that are more subtle, like The Haunting, or the stuff that the original Haunting, the ones that you don't see, the scary things sometimes. And okay, the Paranormal Activity movies are not technically good movies, except for the second one. I think that is a good movie. But I like what they're trying to do. I like the different aspects and elements they're sort of putting in there. And I think we're seeing just for their 3 or 4 new ideas that they're doing. So, yeah. So I like what's that? The original Haunting. You want a real good scary movie, see the original Haunting, the black and white one. So, awesome. Thank you so much. And well, as I say, check out my zombie shirt.
Oh, okay.
I can't believe I fell for a Spencer's joke. Okay.
Ow.
Well, first off, I'm actually making a Vine, so if you could just say, hi, I'm Dog Walker, and the rest of the audience can just cheer, that'd be great.
Oh, it's Mr. Director, tell me when.
Alright. Ready for it? 3, 2, 1, and go!
Hi, I'm Doug Walker.
Alright, then, that's my question.
We good?
Yeah, we good. Now for the question. In your editorial review, one of your editorial reviews was, are parody movies going extinct or something like that? And you mentioned a lot of movies like scary movies, superhero movies, etc., etc. I thought, isn't Austin Powers a parody movie? Because parodying James Bond? So.
Kind of. You could make that argument, technically. Even then, I think one of those is good.
I like them all, so.
Yeah, I mean, if you like them, go ahead and like them. But when did that come out? 99, something like that? I mean,
97.
97, yeah. So that's a while ago too.
Yeah.
You you could count them as that. I mean, they sort of create their own characters and almost their own world, strangely enough. But yeah, I think you could say it's a satire of like old spy espionage films of like the 70s and 60s and so forth. So yeah, sure.
All right, well, that's all I got. Thank you for the time. And 11 solid Critic. See you later.
Hey, Doug.
Hi.
All right, so my favorite review, I think, will always be the Moulin Rouge review.
Which one?
The Moulin Rouge review.
Moulin Rouge, okay.
Yeah, and I was like really impressed with the amount of singing that you guys did, and I was absolutely curious as to whether any of you guys had any formal vocal training.
I had a little bit. My mom was an opera singer, so it got passed down to me, but I was never able actually to read music. And even, see, the thing is, technically, like, I can fake being a good singer enough. I know technically I'm not a good singer. Like, sometimes I'll have notes that are flat or off key, or like I said, reading music or just mimicking a note that somebody gave to me or sung is difficult for me. So I have a good voice, but it doesn't always have the best direction. I took a little bit of training. I think I took about like 5-6 lessons or something like that, but just I wasn't having the money. I was like, I gotta do videos and stuff, so I didn't do it too much. But I had a little bit of training, yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Hello. Ask your question, Houstonian.
Indeed. This leads me to the question, since you hate Man of Steel so much, it actually raised a very interesting question out of you anyway. Do you believe that the fact that they're making comic book characters darker, like the comic book genre darker and the movies darker, do you actually believe that it's helping the comic book characters or it's actually killing them?
I was all the darkness that they needed. I'll tell you right now, I was 50 Shades darker. I mean, here's the thing. Like, when it got to a point, I think, like, in the 80s and 90s, it was sort of like, everyone said, oh, comic books, kid stuff and everything. And they say, no, come on, let's grow this up. Let's be really adult here. And part of that is we can take on the dark stuff. So they started doing that. And Batman, in a sense, was always kind of dark, but a lot of these heroes and all these comic books are trying to prove, hey, we should be taken seriously, and going to the dark stuff is a good way of doing that. So I think, and then with the rise of the Dark Knight, the movie, that was so incredibly dark, and it was a huge hit. So I think people thought, like, oh, well, now this is comic book. Comic books are dark. They're all dark. And they're not. Some are, and they belong dark, and that's great, but I think people forget that something can be just as adult and just as strong and just as powerful without making everything gray and killing off half the characters and so. I mean, it's not needed. It comes from the character. You have to have a good character and you have to have a good story. So I don't think making something dark is the way to make it adult. The way to make it adult is just make it adult. Talk about adult issues. And talk about it seriously, and really think about what you're saying, and say it to the point. You don't have to go speech after speech and so forth. So, yeah. There you go. Thank you. Thank you, Houstonian.
Doug, I have 2 questions for you.
Go for it.
Well, first off, last night I just watched your top 11 dumbest Lord of the Rings moments. You raised a good point. I agree with you on the Saruman thing.
The Saruman? Oh, yeah. He got. There's this great interview, not an interview, but they're like at a party, and you just see, this is Christopher Lee when he was cut out of Return of the King. You see Peter Jackson there. He said, aren't you glad that you're back in the extended DVD? He's like, yes, thrilled.
Yeah, that's one Christopher Lee character that was really wasted in the trilogy, the other being Count Dooku.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Killed off at the beginning of episode 3. Anyways, that got me thinking. Has anyone ever asked you to review something that's not only rips off Lord of the Rings, but Star Wars as well? Aragon.
The dragon, right? With Jeremy Irons, not Dungeons and Dragons, you know.
Yeah.
I love how half the people went, yeah. I heard about that. Actually, you know, I have a list of movies that I may or may not review, and when I think is a good one there, I'll put it on there, and that is on the list. So I'll definitely at the very least take a look at it because I hear it's bad.
Yeah. And my second question, since I've seen you done crossovers with so many members of that guy that's to come, like Kara, Yezu Otaku. Have you ever tried to get in contact with Erod, the Blockbuster Buster, and doing a crossover with him?
I've had a few people ask about doing a crossover with him, and it's possible. Right now, I'm trying to keep the crossovers a touch at a minimum because near the end there, I was doing so many because I sort of told people, I'm like, hey, the end of the Critic's coming, if you want a crossover, come on, and like everyone's like, ooh, I want one. So I did like a ton near the end there, so I'm spacing them out, but it might be possible. I always say if it looks like there's something that we can really come together on, or like our styles can really combine well with, I do it. That's one of the reasons I haven't done anything with, I haven't done a crossover with Film Brain, because we just haven't found that project that's like, yeah, like, we can do this, we can really do this, and it'll work well off each other. So, I think it's the same thing. If we find a project that's like, yes, this will work well, we'll go ahead and do it.
That's all I ask. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay.
It was laced with LSD. That'd be hilarious.
What was that, sugar cube? That was a cube of crack. Oh my god, that question, go.
I'm glad you survived last night.
Yes, I'm glad I survived too.
Recently on my journeys, I have come across a powerful relic hidden in the corner of the shop. Have you ever handled one of these?
Fucking bubbles! Doesn't work.
Did you try plugging it in?
What?
Did you try plugging it in?
There was a whole thing in there that just had water.
I was curious, have you ever considered redoing some of your early reviews since you've grown over time so much as a writer, editor, comedian, pretty much everything? Or do you feel you've said everything you have to say on the matter?
The only one I thought about redoing because I felt I could do it better, and I might, depending. I wouldn't mind doing the Ninja Turtle movies again.
I'm sure a friend of mine would appreciate that.
Yeah, I think I could have more fun with it because that's when I was still on YouTube, and they were just kind of very rushed and just thrown out there. I didn't do the third one though because I really felt James Rolfe's review of Ninja Turtles 3 just hit everything I could. And it was so funny. That's why we just go for a dumbbell joke at the end of that where like I'm in the bathtub, like I'm just going, oh my god, it's so terrible! I won't talk about it. So, but I wouldn't mind doing that again. I want to wait till it goes, till the return goes more down the road because I don't want to put it out. It's like, oh geez, now he's just redoing his old reviews. Are you really out of ideas? So I like to wait for a minute until I do that, but yeah.
That's fair enough. Thanks for your time.
Absolutely. Hello.
Well done. The question is there been any movie that you reviewed as a nostalgia critic that you actually enjoyed, but it would just be funnier to do it as if the critic hated it?
I did a lot of that to begin with, and I actually the review where I sort of realized, oh, I can make fun of this, but also like it. Well, I saw Lindsay's Labyrinth review, and I love the way she balanced that out, where it's like, hey, here's all the stupid, weird things about it, but you know what? Here's all the really good things about it. So I kind of liked it. I was like, oh, like this can be done and still be funny. So I want to say like half. Maybe like year 2 or something like that, I was starting to do a little bit more of that. Like if a movie was bad, but I still enjoyed it, I would reference that. But to start off, I'd have to think about which ones were actually the ones where I really yelled at and said, this is terrible, and it's like, it weren't that bad, it was just more, just more of the character. But there's not that many. Manos!
I knew that was
coming. Just show the people that. Come on, show the people that. Very, very nice. Sorry, just had to reference that. So, yeah, that's the only one I would do.
Okay.
Or, only like that.
Hi, I'm a huge fan. Favorite review is The Room. I have one question, one request.
Oh, thank you.
In aspects to The Room, I have one question. Is he dead?
I can't do the bit, man. I know you're asking like when she looks at him after he shot himself in the head, and she's like, "Is he dead?" And I go into the whole dead parrot sketch, and it's like I don't know it offhand. I had it like on a prompter there. So.
Can you just do your reaction to Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Just say Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Thank you. Okay, I know I heard about your crossover things a few questions ago, but if you had a crossover in mind, who would you do it with in the near future?
Who would I do a crossover with in the near future?
Yes, if possible.
I actually do have a crossover plan with two people. I'm actually filming it a couple weeks from now, so I don't want to give it away, but there is one coming up, and it will be a musical one.
Awesome! Thank you!
We all go to movies where we really, really look forward to seeing it. Of all those movies that you really, really looked forward to seeing, which one crushed your hopes the most?
Like just ever, or like the past summer or something?
Nah, ever.
Ever? Oh God, I'm trying to think. There were so many.
There are so many.
You know, honestly, it's gonna be a strange one to choose. This is just like one of the earliest ones that pops in my head. The Super Mario Brothers movie. I mean, okay, here's the thing. Like, I was actually, you know how somebody was talking, we were talking about before, like a lot of comic books, want to make it so it look more adult and more badass and stuff. Like, when I saw Batman as a kid, I'm like, oh my God, this is like, all I knew was like the comic and the Adam West thing, and now it's like Batman for adults, awesome. And I thought like Mario Brothers was gonna be like the same thing. And granted, I was still young, so I wasn't putting together, hey, this makes no sense why they would do this, but I was really excited because the trailer for it was really good. It's not that I got the Power trailer, you see that sometimes, it's not that one. There's this one that's like this really intense, awesome trailer. And I was so hyped for it when I saw it, I'm like, what a piece of shit! So that's the one, that's always when I think of like just being crushed by a movie I was so hyped for. That's like the first one that comes in my head usually, so yeah.
Thank you very much.
Hey.
Hello again, Doug. Hello. Just asking, because of the Review Must Go On video, that was pretty much like your most realistic video because it starred you, pretty much.
As opposed to the other ones.
Yeah, well, still. If there was any, what was in the video, what was based on, like, real events? Like, if you, you were talking to the Nostalgia Critic, like, you were discussing with Doug, you were discussing with your
it was all real. Lindsay really tried to have me killed. Lewis does talk to his imaginary friends. No, honestly, what I want to do in that video is I wanted to show very clearly why we were bringing the Critic back. And it had to be very much for the reason it wasn't just because people said, bring him back. It had to be because I felt there was more that could be done with him. And that is very true. And once I saw that Life of Timothy Green movie, just all these ideas were flowing again. And I was getting really excited. I thought about the sort of sketch ideas I could do, and more stuff I could do with the character, and like, oh, maybe I could do this with the review, maybe another movie like this, or maybe, and it just snowballed, and suddenly it seemed like, you know what, maybe there is more I can do with this. So it, well, I wouldn't say it's a realistic review, I would say it's a very honest video.
Okay, and just one last thing, will you review Deep Blue Sea?
Deep Blue Sea.
It's a really enjoyably bad shark movie where, like, a chef throws...
Was that the Samuel L. Jackson?
Yes.
Oh, I know that scene. Yeah, I hear it just sucks except for that one scene.
Yeah, well, there was, like, another scene where it's like, the chef says, you ate my bird, and then he, throws, like, a lighter into the shark's mouth and blows everything up. It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
I'll check it out.
Look it up.
Just to see that scene.
Alright, thank you very much.
Awesome, take care.
Hello, Walter Song.
Hello.
Today's question is something that I've always wanted to ask. Ever since the last Old vs. New, have you ever thought of doing any other new Old vs. News, like maybe...
New Old vs. News.
Like television shows, series too?
I don't know. The only one I could maybe think of is maybe the Spider-Man movies with the new ones, but I mean, it's... Because there's one or two things to compare. I think the new one really blows the old ones out of the water, but I will agree that the story in the first one is a solid story. Like, the way it was all planned out and paced, I'm like, that was a well-told story. Just the writing and sort of everything else in the acting was off.
All right.
But, yeah, maybe that in the future.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Hey there, Doug. Hey. I'm curious, where do you see yourself, Lindsay, Lewis, that guy with the glasses in 5, 10, 20 years?
Just a huge orgy. That was going to be the first year anniversary, but they're like, no, you can't do that. I can't speak for them, I have no idea, but for me, I just love to keep doing this. Anything on the internet, or just anything that allows enough freedom that I can create stuff, that I can, whatever, I can film, I can act, I can draw, I can write, I can do anything creative. I'm gonna be there in one way or another, so yeah, hopefully just still doing this.
Awesome, looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
Hi, my question is, as a Michael Bay fan, what do you think of the Transformers 4 movies? And at the end...
I can't hear him! Shut up!
And at the end, can you say, Bay, suck it, in your Mickey Mouse voice?
Well, what was the first half of the question?
As a Michael Bay fan, what's your thought on Transformers 4?
On Transformers 4?
Yeah.
God, they're making it?
Yeah.
I don't know. If it's the same as 2 and 3, which was the same as 1, I'm not for it. Do something different. I mean, everyone gets angry at the Transformers because it's like, you know, sexist and racist and has no apply. Yeah. It's boring. You know, the first one was stupid, and I can't defend it as a good movie, but it was fun. Like, I really enjoyed watching it. And then the second one, it's like, hey, here's the first one again. Well, yeah, I saw that. The third one's, here's the first one again. I saw that. God. Fourth one's gonna be Megan Fox's April O'Neil. I don't know. I mean, we'll just see what happens.
Doug!
And
Doug!
With that said, I guess all I can say is, Michael Bay can suck it!
Thank you.
Gosh! There's Mark Wahlberg in it. This changes the equation.
Hi. I started watching your videos like a week before you went into the plot hole. And so when you came back, the old nostalgia critic was still really fresh in my mind because it took time to get all caught up. And comparing you from then to now, and I realized you wanted to change a lot, and you're doing more concept videos, which I really love. But what were your main fears on the audience reaction? Because obviously it's been pretty good.
Of getting rid of him or bringing him back?
Not so much bringing him back, but bringing him back in the way that you did, because old him, he just used to yell and rant and just developing anger. But with your newer videos, you seem more calm and open to newer ideas and whatnot, like you said.
For crushing people with giant robots, yeah. No, but I know what you mean. There's more analytical. There's more talking about the actual movie as opposed to yelling and just repeating memes and stuff like that. And yeah, there was a while where I did get into a formula, and I was realizing that, and I wasn't given. I shouldn't say given. We couldn't get enough time and space to be like, oh hey, let's really spend more time on this and see what we can do. You know, it was a week by week thing, and then we had anniversaries, and we had other videos, and there were cons. We had our own personal lives. So finally, when I was bringing them back, that was my big thing, is that I just did not want to do the same thing over and over. I wouldn't bring them back if I was just going to do the same thing over and over. As much as I love the fans, actually, it really is for that reason, too. I can't bring something back just to please people if I feel there's nothing there. Because then they'll get really angry and be like, hey, come on, you should have stayed dead. So I think for what I want to do, I want to do something that I could stretch. I could stretch the character out and the idea of a review out a little bit more. And I mean, I didn't know what the audience reaction was going to be. I mean, some people love it. They love that it's evolving and doing new stuff. Some people can't stand it. And they're like, shout more memes. You know, why is the wall the wrong color? But, you know, honestly, it's one of those things where it's just, this is the direction it's going to go in, because I can't just stay that one thing over and over. Let me put it this way. I could still get paid for it, but it would drive me nuts. And I think in the long run, it would drive other people nuts. And I want to keep doing new stuff. If you want to see the same old stuff, go watch the same old stuff. It's still there. But yeah, I'm looking to evolve it, and I'm having a great time doing it.
Alright, thank you.
Absolutely. Is it the right way? Would you wear it forever in like your next video too? For me,
if you gave me a bracelet, would I wear it in the next video? Please. And if it says something like Nostalgia Critic sucks, probably not.
No, it doesn't say anything.
Well, here, let me look at it.
Wait, what?
I'm so confused right
She tried to attack me. Can we have her arrested? At the very least, I'll wear it throughout the rest of the con. How about that? Everyone will be like, what's that necklace? I'm like, it's a necklace of a bracelet. Okay, let's try it again. At the very least, I'll wear it through the rest of the con because people will be like, what's that bracelet? I'll be like, it's a bracelet of awesome! Peace, love, and understanding. Hey!
Good afternoon.
Oh, that's a guy. It's really bright and I see your head covered and stuff like that. I'm just like, oh, I'm like, oh, it's a dude. I'm sorry. Yeah, thanks.
So I was wondering, since you brought back the Nostalgia Critic, I've seen a blog about this from someone else on your website. Will you be reviewing the animated G.I. Joe movie as the Nostalgia Critic?
Oh, I've had that recommended before. You know, I haven't seen it. I heard it's kind of just meh. It doesn't have a ton of comedic possibilities. I did see the opening, which is like the most violent thing I've ever seen. I mean, like, nobody dies, but it's literally like if Frank Miller did G.I. Joe. It's just like gunshots everywhere, lasers, people flying around, just explosion, go, Joe, it's like the Statue of Liberty there and explode. It's like totally batshit insane. It might be worth it just for that opening, just to review the opening. But you never know, I might. I've had people ask me that before, so we'll see. I might at the very least give it a look.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Okay. I know you've probably heard this 1,000 times, but, you know, look at all these people here. You've come really far since I started watching you 5 years ago. I really enjoy what
I wasn't on the internet 5 years ago.
Oh,
you're the one that was watching the
But 4 years ago,
I'll give you a hard time.
I really enjoy what you do, and all these people do too.
Thank you.
Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget how awesome you've made the internet.
You know, something that going into this, when I was growing up, I really wanted to do something like in Hollywood and movies, and I wanted to make movies, and I didn't know if I wanted to act or direct or write, whatever. I wanted to be famous pretty much when I was a little kid. And as I got older and older, I was going to film school, I was realizing, like, my life, I don't think would connect very well to sort of the Hollywood life. Like, I wasn't the same person anymore. And I decided I was going to get out of that, and instead I was going to become an illustrator. And this stuff sort of happened as a hobby. And I think that was the best thing that could happen because, bizarrely enough, this stuff all came to me when I realized I didn't need it. And I think that's the best time for something like this to come to you, because then you don't expect it and you don't crave it and you don't need it all the time. So I always try my best. I mean, as awesome as all this is, I always try my best to realize, like, I just started in my folks' place as a hobby, pretty much, you know, and it's a very good thing to hold on to. So yeah, I always try my best to do that.
I also have a quick question.
What, in a Q&A?
I'm the girl who last year at the con gave you a couple of scripts. I was wondering if by any chance you still have those.
Everything that's given to me...
or it was, because I give you a Wizard of Oz one. Or the, not Wizard of Oz, The Wiz.
The Wiz, okay.
My review for The Wiz, and I was wondering if, you know, maybe by any chance...
Everything that's given to me, I hold on to. I actually have...
inspirational or something.
I have several drawers of stuff that's like, you know, stuff that people have given me and stuff, and I try my best to get through. And I hate talking like this because it used to be like, everything that's given to me, every email sent, I'm going to look at it, I'm going to respond to it. And then it's like, it's gotten to a point where if I did, I just wouldn't be able to get any work done. So, but I'm trying to go through all that stuff and look through it and respond to people. And I don't know if I'll ever get through all of it, but it's just know that I'm trying. I'm making an effort to get through it all, and I'm sure I still got that in there.
I completely understand and appreciate it, and I'll give you some more copies tomorrow.
There we go. Awesome.
Hi. First of all, I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
After watching your stuff, that's kind of what got me into actually thinking when I went to go see a movie, like, oh, oh right, this is either supposed to be good or bad, you know, reviewing it myself, so I love what you do. My question is, we hear a lot about what your favorite movies are. What's your favorite book?
My favorite book?
Please don't say Twilight.
Oh,
Shades of Grey.
I'm trying to think now. Oh god, that's really tough. You know, I want to say like Huck Finn, maybe. Yeah, because honestly, for any other reason, I adore that scene where he's debating whether or not to turn his best friend in, and he's remembering what he was told in church at the time, which is, you know, that slavery is the good thing, and that if you don't, you're going to hell. And he just thinks of his friendship with him, and he just said, you know what, I'll just go to hell then. And to me, that's like the most powerful thing written to me. I mean, that like if he knows what he's been told hell is, and he doesn't care, he's going to risk it for his friendship and what he feels is right. And that's just like the best bit of writing in the whole world to me. So probably that. Like I said, if there's anything else, just that one moment.
All right, thank you.
That's it.
Can I have a request? Can I shake your hand?
Yeah, sure.
Hello. Hi. I've been loving your vlogs on the Avatar: The Last Airbender. Mostly because you're coming at it from a very objective and new. You haven't seen it. You're fresh to the whole series. So I've been loving your objective look at it. I'm kind of curious, once you finish the series, and I'm assuming reviewing the movie, will you be thinking of looking at Korra?
Hey, everyone's asking me to do Legend of Korra. Yeah. I really want to, because I love Avatar, and I want to see where it goes from there. And we were talking like maybe we could make it like, you know how Walking Dead has Talking Dead, maybe we'd be like, Talking Korra! Like every time a new episode comes out, it's like, wow, guys, could you believe it? Let's chat! Yeah, so I'll watch it simply because, I mean, I've never seen a show quite like Avatar, and I really love it. It's one of my new shows. I'm just loving watching it so much, and I'm interested in anything those people do, or anything connected with that world. So, yeah, no, I definitely love to do that. I probably will.
And real quick, are you going to be reviewing Pacific Rim for Bum Reviews?
I probably won't have time this weekend because of the con and a bunch of our stuff coming up, but I'll see if I can get to it, because everyone says it's good. I mean, so I'm looking forward to it.
I saw it last night. It was pretty good.
Awesome. Well, yeah, probably somewhere down the line you'll see it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Take care. Hey. Hi. Can you guys hear okay, by the way? Yeah. Okay, make sure.
Well, first I just want to say
people are kind of loud.
And hope you're enjoying the con. And also, since you said you like horror movies, if they're somewhat subtle, have you ever given the thought of reviewing The Haunting of Molly Hartley?
What's it called?
The Haunting of Molly Hartley.
I don't think I know that one. Is it good, bad?
It's abysmal.
Okay. Well, then I'll at the very least take a look at it.
Alright, well, enjoy it if you watch it.
If I want to. I will choose whether or not I will enjoy it.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Oh, hi.
First of all, let me just say, sparkle, sparkle, sparkle.
Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle.
And my question is, earlier you were asked, what's your favorite book? Favorite video game?
Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Hello again. I was wondering what your opinion was on remakes of the shows that you put on your top 11 nostalgic animated shows. Stuff like the new Ninja Turtles on Nickelodeon, or Transformers Prime on the Hub.
You know, I haven't seen them. I mean, I hear they're decent, I hear they're good. But yeah, I just haven't. I will say this. A lot of the shows that we really praise, you know, sort of like Transformers and Ninja Turtles, and even though I love them, they're definitely very dated, and they were for us. Now a new generation is here, and writing and children's shows are evolving, and I think it shows. I think, like, what I have seen of sort of like the new Ninja Turtles and the new Transformers and stuff is that they're putting more of a story, they're putting more character in there, and I think that's great. I think that's the right way to do it. I would like to see a few more new ideas you know, they're just rehashing all this stuff. But yeah, I hear it's all really good. But no, I haven't seen it.
Oh, and speaking of which, for January, are you going to do a theme month for Cartoon Network?
A what month?
Theme month.
Oh, like a theme month? I don't know. If I got time, I'll do some. I love doing the, the monthly stuff, or, like the Disney Decembers and stuff like that, so I'll see what I can do.
Okay. Awesome. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And thank you very much.
Yeah, go.
Hello.
Hi.
What is the worst show you've reviewed and or seen?
Worst show I reviewed, and the worst show I've ever seen, and I don't know if anyone remembers it because it was on for like 5 episodes and they took it off. It was that bad. The worst show I've ever seen was a show with John Goodman. It's called Normal Ohio. You remember that? Like the only thing it had is John Goodman is gay.
What?
Show. It had nothing else, and I only saw like half an episode in the beginning of another episode. I was just amazed at how bad it was. So that's the worst one I've ever seen. I'm sure there's worse, possibly, but that's the worst one I can recall.
What about the worst you've reviewed?
The worst I reviewed for a show? I've reviewed that many shows. I guess. I mean, this isn't anywhere near the worst, but probably like Full House. Because it was so annoying.
I couldn't say.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Hi.
Hello. I'm Rachel, and I think you met my sister at the...
I forgot the foot soldier was down there. I just see like this ninja go...
Met my sister Molly at the improv. I wasn't there, but...
Awesome.
So, and, well, I really like your stuff, and... interviews of like the TV shows you watched growing up, and I really enjoyed them, even though I haven't seen many of them because I grew up in the 90s watching PBS Kids and not any of those shows. Even though I really liked them, I wanted to know, have you or anyone else on the site ever considered reviewing any of those shows, like PBS Kids shows like Magic School Bus and Cyber Chase?
Well, does Thomas the Tank Engine movie count? I didn't see much of... I watched as much PBS as like Mr. Rogers or Sesame Street and stuff, but I didn't really see much of the other stuff, and I'm sure it's fine. I didn't hear anyone say, "Oh, Magic School Bus, isn't that a piece of garbage?" I mean, it's like people seem to like it fine. I mean, so if something like horrendously bad, like amazingly bad, is out there that like everyone's screaming for me to do, I'll probably do it. But
it wasn't bad. Just some of the stuff you reviewed wasn't even bad. It was just kind of cheesy sometimes, or like...
we'll see. I mean, nothing's coming to mind, but you never know. I might think something.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Hi. I know before you sort of retired, before you came back, and you said that the Garbage Pail Kids was your least favorite review. Did you ever hear about a new Garbage Pail Kids movie coming out?
Yeah, this new Garbage Pail Kids movie, it's like up there with the Drop Dead Fred movie, right? It's like been in production for like 5 years or something, and it's like, oh, did you hear? It's like, yes, will you just make it already so I can stop getting sent this message? I honestly, if they want to make it and make it good, please do.
I know it's supposed to be stop motion. The company that's doing it is...
it's stop motion?
Yes.
Oh, who's doing it?
I think it's a company called PES.
Okay, I mean, if it's like the same people that did like Paranorman or something like that, like I bet it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I got nothing against the cards. The cards are great. If they want to make a movie about it, please do. Just make a good one.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Hey.
Hello. Since the 5th year anniversary, looks like it's going to be more a collection of shorts. In the future, do you plan to do something more like To Boldly Flee or Suburban X?
Like sort of a bigger movie project. I mean, not in the near future. Honestly, a lot of the effort is being put into these new nostalgia critics. Because again, I'm having these ideas for them, and I really want them to look good. Or as before, they would, for whatever reason, I don't know what they were doing, but they would just take like wood outside and they would just hit it. Like they wouldn't cut it or something. They would just hit it. And I would come out every once in a while and be like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I'm filming something there. Could you just not do that?" And just give me a look like. And then just either walk away or keep doing it. So, I mean, so one day, like when I was doing the Ask That Guy walking down the road carrying a gun, I just walked down, I see them look out the window, it's just like... and, they didn't bother me anymore.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome, Mel.
Hi. Question about your running jokes and stuff you do like that. When you first make a joke, how do you decide whether or not to do it again in another review and turn it into a running gag?
It has to be something naturally. I mean, the of course joke with M. Bison is not particularly funny on its own, but for whatever reason, I just came across a lot of movies where there's just always someone who's going to take over the world. Of course! And like I said, I did it that one time, and then in the same review, I did Mortal Kombat, so when I said take over the world, I just show him again, of course! And then like in the 2 movies down, it was like, oh, well this guy's going to take over the world again. Well, I did this before, I might as well do it again. And there's a lot of people who want to take over the world in bad movies. So I would just keep using this joke, and then I would do like variations and stuff like that. So there's 1 or 2 times where I would try to start something like, hey, maybe this will be like a running joke, and just nothing ever came of it. And probably for good reason, I don't think it's good to force those. The only one that we did that were like, this has to be a meme because my brother and I loved doing it so much growing up was the I was frozen today one. Because we just always remember that line, and we just thought it was such a strange line that we played all the time in the advertisements. So whenever my brother and I were arguing, like, over something stupid, one of us would just go, I was frozen today! And we just laugh and be like, no, that's it, I don't care what you're arguing about. You said it and we're laughing. So it just brought us so much joy. So that's the only one that was, like, planned, like from the beginning. But, the best thing to do is just let them, come into your head naturally.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Greetings.
Greetings.
That's loud. Okay, so I don't know if you've already reviewed this because I haven't seen all of your videos, regrettably. When are you going to review Manos?
Oh, I can't do Manos. The Mystery Science Theater guys did it way too well.
Oh.
I see, that's always the thing with the review, it's sort of like what James Rolfe said. He said there's no, like, one book where it's like you write down, it's like, oh, I did this review already, so you can't. I mean, it's true, there's not. If you want to do something, do it. But if somebody already did it so well, and I feel like I can't add anything new to it, there's no point in doing it. I don't want to repeat jokes. I don't want to say what everyone else has said. I mean, that's why I won't do, like, whatever Phantom Menace or something like that, or Birdemic, because everybody has done it, and everybody has said all the jokes that, I would have said. So, unless I can think of something new, I probably won't do it.
Well, thanks anyway.
Absolutely.
Hello. Somewhere along the line, has there ever been an element or an actual review that's taken you out of your element?
Taking me out of my element?
Yeah.
Like the Big Lebowski? Doug, you're out of your element! What's out of my element?
That's maybe taking you out of your comfort zone?
Out of my comfort zone? Again, Garbage Pail Kids. There's something about how despicably awful those little kids are, and they're trying to make it look like natural stuff. I try to take North sort of did too. I'm just watching, it's like, I feel dirty watching this. Like, this is just awful. I'm like, I don't want to travel the world because I don't know what horrible, wrong things they're going to say about other cultures. So, just a toss-up between Garbage Pail Kids and North, I guess.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Hello, little me.
Okay, haven't heard that before. I just want to say I really love all the anniversary movies. They're just great. They're better than anything else in the theaters. I was just wondering, you've talked about all the terrible stuff that was going on during the filmings of these things, especially Suburban Nights. I saw the featurette for that. Which one was the filming really just the worst?
Suburban Nights, it's funny, because Suburban Nights for me was the toughest one I had to go through, because I really felt like I didn't think we'd be able to make this one. Everyone pulled together and it turned out great. To Boldly Fleet, I thought everything was going really, really good. I found out afterwards, like, people were not ready to stay up that late, and, just like they had other projects to do, and I was really, really pushing them harder and harder than I realized I was. So it's it's sort of a toss-up between the two, because it's like, Tivoli Flea didn't take effect until after I was done filming, where Suburban Nights was during it. So, but they both turned out wonderful, and everyone just worked their hardest, and you can see it in there, and I love how they turned out.
Great. Thanks, Doug, for everything. I love your videos.
Thank you, little me.
Hello.
Hello.
My question for you is, what is your favorite Seinfeld episode?
My favorite Seinfeld episode? Well, that had to be the contest!
But are you still master of your domain?
I got so much hand coming out of my glove. I love that episode. That's the one that just like made me laugh. I just seeing them in bed like biting their pillows and stuff. I love it. That just cracked me up. I think it was one of the first sitcoms to really like kind of talk about that too, which is just made it all the more funny. So I love it.
My favorite is the one where Jerry wears an uncomfortable sweater and thinks his accountant is on drugs.
That's a good one too. No, there's a lot of good episodes. I love that show. So awesome.
Thank you very much.
And it looks like we got to wrap up here. Guys, I have autographs down there, I believe, at 2:15. I'm going to have DVDs and prints. Anything you bring to sign is free. And guys, thank you so much. I love you all. There's a great show in here afterwards. Take care.